Okay, I left the other video before I started. I don't know exactly what I've explained. Oops, not that. Oops. Shift tab, right? Let's go back to this thing. All right. Okay, so it's blue, yellow. Blue looks like they put the 2 victory point thing there. This is what they're going to try for. And let's kind of play the game. So the way we do an event, and this event says some stuff on it. It says basically welcome to the company. It added a blue. This is the water section. The number 3 is washing the sugar out of the smoked agave or the extracting the fruit. Um, this is the agave here. We're missing the orange. We'll put this one here. This is the pina. Whenever, this is basically representing agave in the field. Then it turns into the pina where they cut it. And then over here in this section, they extract the sugars. There is a diffuser, an autoclave, and a brick oven. They basically try to get out the moisture and get out and break down and leave the sugar. And then they use water over that to get out the sugars. And here, you've got well water, you got rainwater, you've got a mixture of the two there. Anyway, so this is a player's board. This is the month we're working in. These are the following 2 months. So if you look at this is January. So we're starting here in January, and we're going to, the very first thing is this section here on the first side. Oops. 1, 2, and 3 correlate to boss number 1. Boss number 2 is back of the house. He correlates to 4, 5, and 6. We're only dealing with the first 1, 2, and 3, and we're dealing with contracts. These contracts, so let me pull out one of these. This is 6 different stages to make a full, make your tequila ready, right? Some distillers contract out their labor, and this is locked. Okay. So what's going to happen here is we're going to go to the first stage of getting the agave. Then we're going to do the second stage of extracting the sugars, and then getting washing it with the water and getting the sugars from the husks and stuff. So after that, we're going to go ahead and export it to whoever's going to do the rest of it. We're only contracted out to do the first part of this in the game. We're new to this company. We have a boss. This is the boss for this first section that we're working in. And he's going to ask us, and this is both players, to do an amount of work. He's on the 5 space, means he's going to make us do 5 days worth of work. So here's the 5. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there so I don't forget. I just know in this first round I got to put a 5 in there. So I'm going to put this 5 to represent the 5 days of work I'm going to do during this month. I could overhang it and have a regular day, one of these white days, which is Monday through Friday, and then do some overtime and be sad for it. But by the end of the month, I need to have all these squares filled up with time that I've used at work. Otherwise, I'll get written up, and it'll get one of these written up things. We can get up to 3 at the third one, or we can get up to 2. If we get one more, then we're out of the game. This is a day off. So like if we had a day off, we just put it in there. And as you can see down here, days off give you 5 days. Just gives you 5 days off. 5 unhappies removed. You get unhappy for working on the weekend. This removes because you get a day off during the week. These can only exist in the white days. So in other words, they don't work on Saturday and Sunday. But anyway, so let's look and see what we want to do. This is also an area controlled. So I'm the blue player. I'm not represented here. Right now we have 3 dudes or 3 check marks on this one. If I want to be represented here, I need to put a check mark. And to do a check mark, I need to do one of these things. I can look here, and I need to make this pattern to get this bottom thing. But since it's the first month that I'm at work, they're going to basically put me on probation. I can only do 2. All I need to do is come up with 2 in the pattern. So a green is not hard to come up with. A green and a blue is not hard to come up with. We can do it here. Let's look at here. They want any one of these bottom. It takes a red cube here, green cube there, blue cube there. So to make this easy, let's do a red one. We're going to, this 5 we're putting here to represent that 5 days that our boss asked us to work. It's our turn. We're going to move this cube to go from 5 to 6. When it goes from 5 to 6, that gives us an unhappy, because we're taking longer to do a job that would normally take us 5. We're going to use this. It triggers both of these bonuses. One is a overtime, so we'll go ahead and get the overtime. The other bonus, because it says both of these, is to move a cube 2. So we could move this cube 2, which we're going to do. We're going to move that cube 2 this way. We could move one of these other cubes, but we're moving this one 2, and then we're going to use it. We're going to use this cube here. This cube is in a 4 space, so that's going to take us 4 days to do. So I'm going to take my 4 days and put it in this thing. I could put it like that, but what I'm going to do, put it on this top one. That's going to make us, let me show you, 3 unhappy. Let me move this. 3 unhappy. 1, 2, 3. And it gives us an overtime because it covers the overtime space. So boom. So we're 4 unhappy out of a possible 10. We did that. This does this. Okay, so the next thing I need to do, I could do it at the end of my turn, but I still need to do it, is get one of these bonuses. I can get 2 light bulbs, 2 books, or $2. And I'll get 2 of these work dollars. Okay, so this red is to do this job, which is put a red here. Now you can only put one on the check mark. This one checks all 3. This is section 3. This is section 3. See, in this section 3, it only wants the first one, which is not red. This is red here, and this one's red here, and then this one's red, or any of them. So it goes in this section 3. This is the confusing part. It'll start at the very beginning. If the thing before it got done, meaning it first starts in this check mark, I mean in this spot before it goes to a check mark, basically a thing has to get done, and if a thing gets here, in the first spot it automatically gets done. In the second spot, if it goes and there's the first one isn't done, they stay on this side. It's not slotted in. But the first one automatically gets done, and then the next one, if the first one's done, then the second one gets done. This goes back, and then you go down the line. If this one gets done, so does the next one. So the way this would work is this is here. When somebody put defuse here, it would get stuck there. Now, if they put the yellow agave, it would go here, and then it would move over and get slotted in. We still have a gap here. The one above it isn't there, so it's still, this one still stays there, and this still stays there. But when somebody finally does the defuse, it'll go here, then it'll get slotted in because the one above it's done. Because the one of it's above it's done, it goes back here. Then the same process happens again. This one's done, so this one gets slotted in. This goes back, and then this gets done. Then we count up how many check marks each person has, and then we add these numbers. If you're first, you get 8, 9, 10. If you're second, you get 4, 5, 6. If you're tied for first and second, you add 8, 9, 10, 14 because of the 4, and then another 2. So 12 divided by however many players that are first. So if there's 2 players, it would be 6 each if it was 12. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's 8 each. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. They put a red. It's not slotted in. It's here. They used 1 cube to do all of that. So if you do 1 cube, it gives you 1 check mark. It was the blue player. They get 1 check mark. They could use extra cubes right now to put more check marks on there. but they don't care. They're going to leave it at 1 for now. And as far as doing a pattern, that doesn't work. Instead of doing the red, which is same, it would do the exact same thing for blue. So we've done a blue instead. And so what we'll do is we'll take this one out. And you know what? Since it's a blue, let's do this one instead. So we have 1 check mark to their 3. Still slide it in the same way. Cool. And then we had already put it in there and there. So now it's their turn. It's the other player's turn. And they're looking. They want to do this pattern, which is all purple. All purple's easiest to do here because you can see all these require purple. And they just need to do 2 of them. So they know the easiest thing to do is this first thing. So what they're going to do is they're going to get representation on this first card. And they're going to do defuse to do that. Or we want to get this one done. Let's do, yeah, we'll do it anyway. So we're going to do a purple. And we'll just do a 4. We'll just raise it up to show that we're going to use it. That'll activate this for a coin. Don't forget we get a 5 for the boss because the boss is on the 5 space. Drops off there. This is a 4. We'll put the 4 here. Remember when in this first spot it's 3 sad faces and 1 overtime. This purple's going to go here, which is going to get us a defuse. We'll put the defuse here. It's still slotted in the, it's still in the side. It's not slotted in because the first thing needs to get done. When they do that, actually we'll do it here instead. When they do that, they'll get a yellow over here to show that they're represented. They got 1 check mark towards it. And then they can get one of these bonuses. They go for the overtime bonus. Boom, 1 overtime. And out of this pattern, they have to get 2 purple. The order doesn't matter, just the colors. They need to get 2 of the 3 purple done. They are on their way. So are they. Okay, back to their turn. They get a 5 because it's their turn, and the boss always makes them do work. And they're going to go ahead and slot in a 5, like so. Now they have to decide what they're going to do. They want to do this thing, which is a green now. They're going to do it the hard way, I think. So 1, 2 sad faces. They're going to go like that, which is going to move. We'll move this green down to a 1 with that, and then we'll get that overtime. That overtime is a 1. This is going to go here. It's a size 6. So we'll go here. That gives us 3, 1, 2, 3 sad faces and an overtime. And with that, we'll do 2 light bulbs. And then that goes ahead and triggers that. Wait, let's go ahead and do the stuff first. That's a green. This green, we're going to do it here. That's going to give us a representation of blue. You know what? I want an extra blue over there. I'm going to do a red. We'll do a red 5. And that 5 will go, that'll do that. It'll trigger this, and I'll make an extra purple. Purples are at that size. That was that 5. This one goes away. It's just used to get me an extra chingadera there. Cool. Done. Oh. They qualify for this. That is a plus, which they have. They just can put it in the storage because we can put it down here in a minute. We did this. These go away. In the first round, normally we need to do 3. In the first round, we only need to do 2. Between out of these 2, I need to pick a skill. See these 2 skills. I'll show you how they work in a minute. Out of these 2 skills, I get that I get to pick one. I'm going to look down here and see which one's needed most. Okay, so the blue one's needed most. So I'm going to take this skill. If you look over here, it's a size 1. So I get to put this in this one area. When I use this skill, what it does is automatically puts 2 check marks in a place that needs a water. I'll put the 1 check mark on the water that it's using and another check mark at the bottom. And it's just like an auto use. And it's in a 1 slot, so it'll only be a 1 thing in my thing. And if it's down here and I don't have this covered, it'll give me a victory point, which is cool. Anyway, they're done. So over here, we want to do this. Remember, we get a 5 at the beginning of our turn because the boss makes us do a 5. Let's go ahead and we'll do this, which will give us 3. 1, 2, 3 sad faces and an overtime. We need another purple. We'll take a day off. We'll put this day off here, and that takes off 5 sad faces. Then we're gonna make this one. Actually, we're gonna trigger this and this. A 6 and a 3. This one's gonna move this one to 1, 2, and it's gonna give us an overtime. So we got a 3 and a 4. 7 days. Can I? Yeah, I can. I'll go here for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an overtime. Then I'll get that 3, and I'll go like that. And then that's 1, 2, 3. That's another overtime. That's both of these. One of these I'm going to use here to autoclave. And with that, I'm going to get another overtime. And let's go ahead and use this red one to get a size 5. And that's all we're doing that for, is to finish out the month and give us another check mark. So that was this thing. We're going to place this one here. And that's going to give us 3 check marks. 2 for doing the autoclave, because it takes 2 to do the autoclave, and then 1 more for the extra that I did. And that's it. I moved the red one up here. We'll trigger this, and we'll make a purple. And that purple we can put in storage. When we make one, that shows what level it is. Cool. That also gives us this thing that we'll get to slot in our, we'll put this in storage as well. Doesn't matter which one. And out of these 2, I've got to pick a bonus, and obviously I'll take the autoclave one. This is a size 3. Goes like that. These go off. And that's the end of the round 1. We'll go over here. We'll go ahead and award points. Okay, so automatically we're going to put in 2 check marks worth of stuff. It was 4 a while ago, but it's going to be 1 per player. So this automatically goes in, and gray gives 2 check marks automatically. And we're just going to auto do that with 2 check marks. This one's going to get 2 check marks at the top. And that'll be like that. So gray has 2 to blue's 1 to yellow's 3. Anyway, here, this is going to be slotted out. It's going to be done. Blue has 2, gray has 2, so they tie. So it's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, so 8 each. So in this case, blue gets 8. Gray is not a color. And then yellow only gets 4. Okay, they made sacrifices, and these things come off. This goes back, and this goes back. This is done. Everything slides over. So now this one's worth a lot more. These all slide. The slides there, lots of tension. This player would spend stuff. And so let's say they decided to spend 2 light bulbs to move green, 1 here, and then purple here. Cool. And then they use 2 of those, and they can buy one of these with 2 coins, and they're going to buy the one they like the most, which is the arrow. Okay, then they would set this up like they wanted. So they do that. So they're going to do this here, and then they're going to do those like that. Then we do income. These income, this shows you what the income is. It's 1 green. Green shows up there. 1 purple. Purple shows up there because of where these are at. Red shows up here. Blue shows up here. Gray shows up here. They've got their income. This card was done, so it goes away. This card was done, so it goes away. Here, what do they got to spend? They only have 1 coin. They'll spin the coin. No, they won't spin the coin. Let's do this stuff. Income, 1 green, 1 blue. I mean, okay, so didn't get there yet. A green, then a purple, then a red, then a blue, and then a gray. Okay, that's done. And then they get to slot this thing in. They're going to put this thing here. And they're going to leave everything else the same. They have shit tons of overtime. The Apple phone costs 5 overtime. So they spend 5 overtime. Over here, they'll decide what they want to buy. They have 4 overtime. So they're going to buy the flip phones. 3 flip phones for 4 overtime. Seems like a bargain. All right, that's done. They switch. Yellow's going to go first. Yellow's going to pick 2 of these cards. And blue's going to pick 2 of these. Yellow player looks. This pattern, both of these patterns aren't too bad, but they're really hard to do together. So we'll do this pattern. Oh, we already got an overtime, don't we? An extra overtime thing. So we're going to do these. See if I can get 1 or both of them. Oops. We'll put that in the discard. The other player decides this is a pretty easy one to do. They've already got a plus, so they're going to do the overtime one. So they'll try for these. Then this player gets these bonuses, which are the top part. 2 grays at -1. Normally they would be there, but we're doing it at -1. Boom, boom. A purple at -1, which is here. And then a red at -1, which puts it here. So there's all their cubes. This is spent, sorry. No, they generated that one. That one goes in storage. Okay. Here. 2 gray at -1. Gray, gray. 2 blue at -1. Blue, blue. That's what that looks like. And then we would start the new round. This time yellow going first. This is the way it looks. We'd start the second event. Oops. Shovel, shovel, shovel. Second event. It's just new autoclave. That's pretty fortunate. Second autoclave goes here. Cool. Let's go ahead and save it, and we'll play the rest at some other time. Over right, that's where we're at. All right, that's some idea of what we're playing. If you watched, thanks for watching. If you didn't, too bad. Let me figure out how to turn this damn thing off.